country. Although Germany has already started nationwide antibody tests, and countries such as Finland and Britain have announced plans to roll them out, many questions remain about how reliable data derived from the tests will be. Health authorities have said 20,000 tests will be performed every day in Lombardy. The head of Italy's National Health Council, Franco Locatelli, said that antibody tests would help authorities determine the spread of the coronavirus. Lombardy, whose capital is Milan, is the region hardest hit by the coronavirus crisis in Europe, with nearly 13,000 deaths. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent the coronavirus. Good evening. I am Coco Greg. Up next is The World Today. Stay tuned.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
With the dawn of the global pandemic, coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, we have been advised to self-isolate and observe social distancing rules. We at Today 95.1 FM want to tell you that while you self-isolate, it is important that you take this time out to get a skill, improve on your old and existing skills, read a book, listen to educational tapes, work out if you need to, bond with your family. Don't just spread fear and panic, self-isolate and grow. Make this time count for you. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Officer, take. Officer, give me number. No time. Ma, they match am, they go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You under arrest. Let me see your papers. You can go. They're in order. Drive safe, okay?
I don't understand though. No be the same country again. Officer reject bribe. They arrest me yesterday. That yesterday, I go do my papers. See as I pass now. I pass without fear. You too, make you do wetin dey right. For we country to better, it dey for we hand. If you like, do like say you no hear am. To give or to take bribe, na offense.
Una don't hear am, abi? You hear am too, abi? You hear am. You hear am well. They themselves, they hear am. Now the voice of the people. Now him bring this message give una. Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
To all those who think COVID-19 is a joke, I have a message for you. Remember, you have one life, families to care for, people who look up to you and take your word for it. You can't afford to let them down.
The irresponsibility of a few could lead to the death of many. Take responsibility, don't misinform people, and follow the guidelines. Stay safe and stay connected to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Hold on, Kata. No, don't say else. Just bring 5,000 now.
Only.
Make
the Kata day. Make the code remain.
Yeah, they worry.
You are not aware you're a thief. Now that you know that your money is coming from a thief, do you not see why you're a thief?
All right, still talking about affairs of the federal government. We understand also that the federal government...
Welcome to today's edition of Beats and Pieces in your premium talk and news radio.
And it's going to be 1-1 Morata. 1-0 is never good enough.
That's why we're called the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Act.
Here we go.
Peace is a situation where there is no war or violence in a society. Peace allows wealth to accumulate and the society to advance.
Through peace, generations of wealth, education, technology can build up, thereby making people very prosperous and happy.
Without peace, there will be violence, war, and underdevelopment in our society. The most disadvantageous peace is far better than the most just war. Let us embrace peace for a better society.
This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM.
It's what I pray for my all around the world. It's what I pray for my
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
A very good evening to you. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. And it is time again for a rundown of the foreign news stories that made the headlines on the world today. In our package tonight, South Africa deploys 70,000 troops to enforce lockdown. Democratic Republic of Congo gets $363 million in coronavirus aid from IMF. US President Donald Trump signs order on immigration green card suspension. Germany's states make face masks compulsory. My name is Coco Greg. And now, the news in details. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that more than 70,000 extra troops are set to be deployed in South Africa to help enforce the lockdown intended to stop the spread of coronavirus. South Africa has had 3,465 confirmed coronavirus cases with 58 deaths. The country has some of the best stringent coronavirus lockdown restrictions in the world, which security forces have struggled to enforce. Since 27 March 2020, only essential service providers such as health workers, financial service providers, journalists, and retail workers are allowed to continue going to work. The restrictions include no jogging outside, no sales of alcohol or cigarettes, no dog walking, no leaving home except for essential trips, and prison or heavy fines for law breaking. The initial army deployment came as 2,280 troops were deployed at the beginning of the lockdown 27 days ago. But this latest deployment has shocked many, as it is the country's biggest military deployment for domestic purposes since the dawn of democracy in 1994. Many believe the deployment, which is expected to conclude at the end of June, means that the enforcement will be strengthened and that the country could face yet another lockdown extension. The president's supporters, who say it was a tough call to make, claim the country's police need help to control people, and the army deployment will ensure that citizens respect the government measures which have been put in place to save the lives of South Africans. Tanzanian opposition leader Zitto Kabwe has warned the government against giving false hopes as coronavirus cases in the country rise significantly. Kabwe stressed the need for citizens to be informed about the true picture about the pandemic. The country confirmed 30 new cases yesterday, pushing the total to 284, including 10 deaths. Following the increase in number of cases, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urged Tanzanians to trust the government and its medical experts in the fight against coronavirus. He said the government had to assess every measure before imposing stricter rules to curb